Hey everybody, it is December 28th, 2012. Weekly wrap-up? Maybe not. Yearly wrap-up it sounds like, right? But we're only going to talk about what we did this week. So anyway, I wish you all a happy new year because the next wrap-up we will be in the year 2013. And what did we do this last week? Well, 2 vibrato clips were released, and I've been really working hard on organizing what's supposed to be happening there in relationship to the vibrato clips. I want to talk about it a little bit in the fact that what clip 10 was all about was stating the fact that if you still have not developed vibrato after all of the different easy ins that I had given you prior to clip 10, then the problem may be that your vocal cords, your voice, your larynx, the digastric muscles underneath your chin, something involved in your production is stopping you from having vibrato. So the problems were addressed and the different things and different reasons for it were all addressed in that clip. Clip 11 was a clip that now took and talked about how you fix those specific things, and clip 12 was a way to vocalize through using proper exercises to help correct all of the problems that were addressed in 10 and 11. So I didn't want you to have to wait so long, and that's why you may notice that you had 2 vibrato clips released in a row and within 2 days. And that's the reason why I thought all of that sort of comes together as one little package right there for all of you on the site checking that out. So that's why. Besides that, we did get involved in the advanced voice course. And what was released in the advanced voice course was the minor pentatonic scale, the blues scale, which is an extremely cool scale. And we will be using it a lot in the advanced voice course. That, the minor 13th, you've also been introduced to the major 7th, and soon you will be seeing other 7th chords. The dominant 7th and minor 7th shall be appearing quite soon. So besides doing the advanced voice course and the 2 vibrato clips, normally what's been happening is you've been seeing an advanced voice course, a vibrato clip, and a listen and recognize clip. Well, because of the holidays, meaning Christmas interrupted one day, and I did 2 vibratos in a row, you didn't see anything in the listen and recognize, but there is so much information there anyway, right? We've gotten up to major chords, minor chords, diminished chords, and the augmented chord. And that is an interesting point that I'd like to point out, that soon we've sort of reached a plateau in relationship to the listen and recognize, and I am going to be cutting it at this a very soon moment, never stopping. It's continuing on, but we're going to be moving from what we might call beginning up to intermediate. I feel that that's once you have all of the major, minor, diminished, and augmented chords and your random notes, that's kind of where you've moved to. And the next thing that starts to happen is 7th chords and some really fun scales and patterns that are incorporated within that, all for your ear training. And that will be moving into the intermediate course. So soon we will have all of the information from the very start of the Listen and Recognize course, starting with 2 notes to this point that we've gotten to. And you should be able to, if you've been following along, actually be able to hear and identify major, minor, diminished, augmented, and random notes all around those chords. And you've got such a wealth of information there because we've really taken our time and shall continue to as we move into the intermediate course. So you're going to be seeing that sort of cutoff of the beginning course now in the listen and recognize, and then moving into the intermediate. That's something else that's going to be happening. And what better time to do it than the year 2013, the beginning of the year. So I think that kind of makes a lot of sense. Now, in some past wrap-ups, I've been talking about balancing the larynx, about ascending up with the siren, going from your chest, and then counterbalancing with a more open-throated sound. I referred to a cartoon character named Bullwinkle as we moved up from chest voice into mix, because that sort of drops the larynx down a little bit and counterbalances. That's one of the tips that I gave you in the past. And if you're on the internet checking things out, you know a lot about the fact that hopefully If you don't, I'm telling you right now that you need to balance your larynx in the middle of your neck. It shouldn't jet up extremely high or jet down extremely low. And so any exercise that sort of counterbalances the larynx while you're ascending, saying that the normal process would be if you weren't trained, that maybe as you start to ascend in your range, your larynx starts to rise higher and higher in your throat, and that's going to tighten you up, and you're not going to make it through your bridges, you're not going to get your range potential. And so, again, any exercise that sort of drops it and counterbalances it as you're ascending can help. Now, there is an exercise called the yawn sigh exercise, and I use it in my courses, and I also use it to correct problems. But first, let me talk about it. And what the yawn sigh exercise is an exercise that was developed, as far as I know. Maybe he got it from somewhere else too, because everybody learns from everybody else. But the man's name was William Vennard, and he had an incredible book that he wrote called Singing Mechanism and Technique. And there's also recordings of him teaching his students. And he constantly referred to and used what he called the yawn sigh exercise. And that yawn sigh exercise simply is a person yawning, or starting the beginning of a yawn, and then bringing a siren down. But the problem with the exercise for balancing your larynx is that it actually implies that you need to pull your larynx down maybe a little bit too far. So let me demonstrate what I'm talking about. Here's the yawn sigh exercise. Oh. Now, if you touch your Adam's apple when you do that, you will feel your larynx, your Adam's apple, go down extremely low. Oh. Now, that's counterbalancing it, but we really don't want to drop it that low when we're truly singing. What we want to do is balance it, like I already spoke about. So I like to take the yawn sigh exercise and then slightly modify it and talk about, instead of doing the full dropped yawn sigh exercise, that you modify it and you do what I call the balanced yawn sigh exercise. And what the balanced yawn sigh exercise is to understand your sound and to feel the larynx and to feel underneath your chin, to feel the muscles here, the swallowing muscles, and feel if this can stay soft and if your larynx can stay balanced, not going down extremely low or high. If I go, oh, that's the yawn sigh exercise without imposing it so far. And then what we're doing is we're practicing a balanced larynx as we yawn down the same concept. This helps get you a little higher without pulling. And if you start to go real high, I'm going to do it wrong now. If I go you'll feel your larynx pull up real high. But if you can go and then you can feel yourself in a place where you're going to get a much better sustain and much better balance. And as I'm feeling here, again, I can feel no pain, no strain. I've got my resonance and my power starting to happen, and my larynx is staying balanced, and this is all staying soft. So that's something you might try too. The yawn sigh exercise modified, so it is the balanced yawn sigh exercise. All right, this is probably a pretty long weekly wrap-up, so I guess I'll see you guys in the year 2013. Be looking forward to it. See you next week. Keep practicing.